Okay, surface area is the outside of a 3D figure. So it is the outside of a 3D figure. So we're just going to be focusing on prisms and cylinders. So if we look at a cylinder has a net. Let's look at their nets, actually. So the net of a cylinder is a circle. That's the top, right? And then there's the bottom of the can or whatever else. And then there's this rectangular shape in the middle, and that's usually like the label if it's a can, or it's the wrapping on the outside. So this is what a cylinder would look like. So for surface area, if I look at the surface area formula, it says surface area equals 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. I know that because I looked at my formula sheet. So if I look at my formula sheet, once again, the pi r squared, you should be thinking area of a circle, right? Area of a circle. So it makes sense that for surface area, 2 pi r squared, well, here's 1. Here's 2 circles, and I need to find their area. So that's the 2 pi r. So that's the top and the bottom of the can. That 2 pi r h right here is this rectangular shape that puts the two together. We are going to call that its lateral surface area. So that's the lateral surface area. So for instance, if they give us a tomato soup, they love talking about tomato soup, and they said, what's the area of the label? Boom, we're finding the lateral surface area, because you don't put a label on the top or the bottom of the can. Okay, now if we look at the net for a prism, and once again, we're only talking about rectangular prisms. So if we look at a prism and we undo the sides, okay, there's one side, there's another side, another side, another side, and then there's the top of the box and the bottom of the box. So this is top, this is bottom. Okay, so if we look at the surface area formula is 2 times, and let me actually write it down exactly as we see it on our sheet. 2 times length times width plus 2 times length times height plus 2 times width times height. So essentially what they're saying is, all right, well, this first part, the 2 times length times width would be this and that. The 2 times length times height would be this one and this one. And then this last part would be both of these pieces. So if you break down the formula, that's what you're doing. Okay, so just like before with volume, it doesn't really matter which one you put in as length, which one you put in as width and height, but you do need to make sure that you only use width twice. You only use length twice and height twice. Okay, a lot of times people double dip different numbers, and you can't do that. Okay, so let's actually get to it. All right, so we're starting off with the cylinder, and this one's actually, for me, I think, easier. So if they say, here, example 1, find the surface area. Okay, so I immediately write down my formula. Surface area equals 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. And then we just plug them in. So 2, we always turn pi into 3.14. Then I got to check and see if they actually gave me the radius. And sure enough, they did. So I can just plug in 11 squared. And then drop everything else. So plus 2 pi is 3.14. The radius is 11. And the height is 12. Just like we did for areas of a circle, the first thing we have to do is take care of this exponent. So 11 times 11 is 121. Bring down everything else. Bring down the second part. And now we just grab our calculator. So that's nice. So we're going to do the red part first, okay? I've got them broken up by addition. So I'm going to do this one first. So in my calculator, I would do 2 times 3.14 times 121, and that gives me 759.88. Plus, now I do the second, the green part. 2 times 3.14 times 11 times 12 is 828.96. Last step, add them up. And I should get 1,588.84. And then my units are centimeters, and this is a surface area. Area is always squared. Okay. A lot of times for a cylinder, they're going to say how much aluminum or how much metal would you need to make the can. Example number 2. We're finding the surface area. We're finding the surface area, so surface area equals 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi rh. And then we just plug in. So surface area equals 2, we turn pi into 3.14. And then our radius, this time they gave us the diameter. So if we want to find the radius, we cut it in half. So our radius is equal to 3, and that's what we're going to plug in. Plus 2, my pi is 3.14, my radius is 3, and this time my height is 10. Okay, so at this point, if they were to say, what is the lateral surface area, I would only do the green, right? I would only do the green part. If they said, what's the lateral surface area? And then that would be done. But if we had to find the entire surface area, we would go ahead and just keep plugging in like normal. So 3 squared is 9. Bring everything else down. And now I break it up in 2. So let's do the blue part first. So 2 times 3.14 times 9 is 56.52. And the green part would be 2 times 3.14 times 3 times 10, 188.4. And then we just add them up. 244.92. Once again, we look at the units. It's feet, surface area. So it's an area, so it's squared. All right, so those are cylinders. Let's get into prisms. So we're finding the surface area. So we'd say surface area equals, and please write down your formula exactly as you see it. 2LW plus 2LH plus 2WH. And then I also want you this time to make sure you place which one's which one. Now, it doesn't matter because remember, it doesn't matter which one you pick as length, width, or height, whatever. But the length we're going to say is 6 feet. The width is 2. And the height is 5. From here, I would bring down all your 2's and your pluses. And then I would start with my length. My length is 6, so I see an L here, 6. L there, 6. Now my width is 2. Wherever I see a W, I'm going to put a 2. And then my height is 5. Okay, now notice, if I look at this, they're grouped into 3 sections. Okay, so I shouldn't have 3 6's, right? Because there's length and only 2 of them. So if you notice the first one, it's red, green, then I have red, blue, and then I have green, blue. So they shouldn't go in all 3. So the length should only be in 2 of them. The width should only be in 2 of them, and so forth. So now we can just go ahead and chunk them into 3's. So 2 times 6 is 12. 12 times 2 is 24, plus 2 times 6 is 12. 12 times 5 is 60. Plus 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 5 is 20. And I add them up. That would give me 8104 meters surface area squared. And last one. The only reason I'm doing another one like this, example 4, that is a cube. So the reason that this is a cube versus a rectangular prism, they're both prisms. And technically they're both rectangular prisms, right? Because if you do your quadrilateral tree, a square is a rectangle, right? So it's the same thing with 3D figures. A cube is a rectangular prism. So you would use the exact same formula. The only difference between a cube and just a rectangular prism is that your length, width, and height are all the exact same measurement. So I guess I can leave that up there. It doesn't really matter. Let's just move it a little bit. All right. Write it down exactly as you see it. Surface area equals 2LW plus 2LH plus 2WH. And if you want to, you can say length equals 40, width equals 40, height equals 40. Or you could just know, well, obviously they're all 40, right? So you'd say, all right, surface area equals 2 times 40 times 40 plus 2 times 40 times 40 plus 2 times 40 times 40. All right, so 2 times 40 is 80. 80 times 40 is 3200. And then we just keep on going. So plus 3200 plus 3200. Add those all up. I don't know. 9,600 inches squared. And then some of you might have already noticed, well, couldn't I just do 2 times 40 times 40, find out that was 3,200, and then just times that by 3? Yes, because a cube, there are 6 sides that are all the exact same. So if you find the area of one side, it's the same as every other side. So that's it.